The train screeched into the dimly lit station, its metallic cry blending with the chatter of late-night passengers. Most were lost in their own worlds, scrolling phones, sipping coffee, or fighting sleep. But in the fourth compartment from the front, something ugly was unfolding. A young woman, no older than 20, sat with her back pressed against the window, her hands clutching her handbag like a lifeline. Two men loomed over her, their voices low but laced with a threatening edge. She kept looking away, praying someone, anyone, would notice. People noticed. They always notice. But their eyes flickered away just as quickly, burying themselves back into the safety of their own silence. And then, from the other end of the carriage, a man in a worn leather jacket stood up. His eyes were sharp, protective, not just curious. Beside him, a little boy of about 7 clung to his father's hand, confused but trusting. This wasn't just any passenger. This was a man who had already lost too much, a man who knew the cost of looking away. And tonight, he wasn't going to let it happen again. Armin was used to late-night train rides. As a single father working 2 jobs, sometimes the only way to save money was to take the cheapest train home. His son, Ayan, was usually half asleep against his side, lulled by the steady rhythm of the wheels on the tracks. But tonight, something felt wrong. It wasn't the flickering lights or the stale smell of the train. It was the tension in the air, the kind that sticks to your skin and makes your instincts stand at attention. Armin's eyes scanned the compartment until they landed on her. She had her head slightly bowed, but the fear in her body language was unmistakable. 2 men, clearly drunk, had her cornered. They leaned in too close, their laughter sharp and invasive. Armin's stomach tightened. Memories flashed in his mind. His late wife, Samira, telling him about the time she'd been harassed on a bus and no one had stepped in. He remembered the way her voice trembled when she said, "No one even looked at me, Armin. They all acted like I wasn't there. Not tonight. Not in front of his son." He told Ayan to stay put, placing his backpack beside him as if it were a barrier. "Don't move, champ. I'll be right here," he said, his tone calm but firm. He walked over, closing the distance between himself and the men in just a few strides. "Hey," Armin said, his voice low but steady. "She's not interested. Leave her alone." The taller of the 2 men smirked, sizing him up. "Who are you, her bodyguard?" he sneered. Armin didn't flinch. "No," he replied, "I'm just someone who knows right from wrong." One of them took a step closer, his breath heavy with alcohol. "Mind your business, old man." Armin's jaw tightened. "This is my business," he said, his eyes locked on theirs. "You can either walk away now, or I'll make you regret staying." The words hung in the air. Passengers began to look up from their phones, sensing the confrontation. But none of them spoke. The shorter man scoffed, muttering something under his breath, but Armin stood his ground. His presence wasn't loud, but it was immovable, like a wall you can't get around. After a tense moment, they backed off, muttering curses as they stumbled toward the other end of the carriage. The young woman let out a shaky breath, clutching her bag tighter. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the hum of the train. Armin nodded. "You don't need to thank me. Just, take care of yourself." He turned to walk back to Ayan, not knowing this small act would tie their fates together in ways he couldn't yet imagine. The train rattled on, the incident fading into the hum of wheels on steel. Ayan looked up at his father with wide eyes. "Papa, why did those men bother her?" Armin hesitated, searching for the right words. "Because some people forget how to be human, Ayan. And when that happens, it's up to the rest of us to remind them." Ayan nodded slowly, absorbing the lesson, though his young mind could only grasp so much. But in his father's eyes, he saw something fierce yet gentle, something that made him feel safe. At the next station, the young woman hesitated near the door. She turned to Armin. I didn't tell you my name. It's Zara. He gave a small smile. Armin. She glanced at Ayaan and softened. And you must be the brave sidekick. Ayaan grinned shyly. Zara stepped off the train, but not before turning back. You know, people like you are rare. Thank you for not looking away. Armin watched her disappear into the crowd, a strange feeling lingering in his chest. He didn't know why her words mattered so much, but they did. Over the next few weeks, life went on. Work, school runs, late trains. But one rainy evening, as Armin and Ayaan stepped onto another train, he spotted her again. Zara, sitting quietly with a book in her lap. This time, she wasn't cornered or afraid. She looked up, recognized him, and smiled. Looks like you're still riding the same route. Armin chuckled. Or maybe the route keeps bringing us back to the same people. It turned out that Zara had been through more than that one night revealed, loss, loneliness, and the constant feeling of being unsafe in a city that didn't care. Armin, in his quiet, steady way, began to change that for her. And though they didn't know it yet, this small moment of courage on a train would grow into something far greater, a reminder that sometimes, stepping in to defend a stranger doesn't just protect them for one night. It can change both lives forever.